Hello Internet, it's time for another Angry Mojo Games assembly tutorial. I'm Andrew and I'm here with a special box. What's in the box, you may ask? It's one of our new X-Wing tournament trays. Just as all of our stuff ships in a giant pile of wood. Now I'm going to take you through the process of putting this thing together. Pretty simple process like most things, but it may wind up getting a little bit tricky. So, our first step, like all kits, we're going to go ahead and clean our edges with a rag and some rubbing alcohol. That's going to get all of the loose soot up so our glue will make a good tight bond. If you're not careful and you don't do your cleaning, you're going to have difficulty getting that bond. Now, inside, we have two pieces that are long. These are going to go across the tray on the inside and form a good place for you to hold your movement templates. We've got two shorter pieces. They're going to go in like that and give you some compartments to hold your tokens. We've got these four rails that are going to go on the top of the tray. And then we have these four walls that are going to form the sides of the storage box. Then we have our base plate. What goes on top of the base plate. And some adapters in the event you want to have larger ships on your tray. So, like most things, we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to work our way up. Now, this is a very simple construction, much simpler than you think it is. First, we're going to make sure we got all these extra pieces out of the holes. And then, we're going to start getting stuff in place. Go ahead and take this diagonal connector. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on each one of these. We're going to take our side, take these pieces that connect the diagonal one. Now, we're going to actually get that one in place. A little bit of glue here. Now, when you're gluing MDF like this, remember less is more. Does not take very much. And of course it's going to fall apart. But that can happen. Now you can see the moment you actually get that in place, it winds up being pretty sturdy for the rest of the construction. And that's pretty much the name of the game as far as this goes. Next, we're going to go and take one of the sidewalls. Small bit of glue underneath. And making sure that we keep the tabs opposite the tabs. And the slots opposite the slots. Should fit in nice and convenient like. Now we know it's going to fit. We've done a proper dry fit. Put a little bit of glue on each one of these tabs. And then you'll get a nice, clean, snug fit. Now we got the basic frame. Keep that tight there. A little bit of glue in there as my glue bottle keeps falling down. This last diagonal piece will go in like that. And now we have a nice, even box for you to hold all of your components in. Well, next step, we're going to go ahead and get our lid ready to go. Now on the other side of the lid, got a couple of these. This is one of the times when you're going to want to be very careful with the amount of glue you use, because if you have too much, it can beat up along the edges, and that can interfere with the lid fitting in properly. So I've got a little bit of glue there. Take these rails, socket them in there, right there, right there, and right there. Now, as a recommendation, you may want to take one of these things because you're not going to need them anyway. Scrape all the glue off of these corners. This is going to do two things. First, it's going to keep that glue from beading up and keeping your tray from fitting in nicely. It's also going to spread that glue across. It's actually going to give it a tougher, tighter bond. So this goes in. Now if you notice, the tray doesn't move very much at all. That's what the purpose of those rails is. All right, well, we got our last step now. We're going to go and take our top, going to line it up however we want to do it. Then we're going to glue flat MDF to flat MDF. Now, whenever we're gluing flat MDF to flat MDF, we want to use very little glue. This much is even more than you need. But we want to make sure we have enough to form a tight bond. Now, there we go. In the event you put too much glue in this section and it beads up along the corners here, make sure to take another one of these and get as much of that up as you can, because the last thing you want is your ships to get a wibbly wobbly while you're moving this thing around. They're already on stems, they're already going to do that to an extent, but these little recesses should help you out with that. And in the event that you're running a TIE Fighter swarm, you got these little adapters so you can hold a full 8 ships. A little bit more cleanup. And then you have fully assembled, fully functional X-Wing tournament tray with storage for accessories. That's pretty much it. Enjoy your gaming and have fun with your X-Wing.